Yo, we're here. And you're with the Roll for Mischief crew, as I like to say, your favorite nerds. First, let me go ahead and just say we would like to extend a very warm welcome to Carrie Heron, who is our new player. This is the first official session in which we are folding in her character named Ellie into the story of this crazy story of what's actually going on. If you've been staying tuned the past couple of weeks, you've been getting a lot of backstory of Ellie's character and really seeing how Ellie has been somewhat involved in these background events that have been happening throughout the story. That was a really fun exercise, and I'm really excited to keep it rolling. And we'll continue with episode 10, titled Minutes to Midnight. So yeah, before we really get rolling here, I'm going to hand it over to this side of the screen over here to talk about our special giveaway that we've had going on.
All right. So we have a giveaway for getting us to 100 subscribers on YouTube, which meant that we can have a custom URL, which I think we've got sorted now, which is awesome. So yeah, thank you to everyone who entered and subscribed, I guess. So we picked a winner. But first of all, I want to shout out a few people who were kind enough to share this whole thing on their Instagram stories, their feeds. Some people did it on Twitter, Facebook. People really helped us out, basically. So got a little bit of a list. I'm gonna probably mess up all of these usernames, as I always do. The Lucky Rogue, Rises Phoenix, Husband DM, Painting with Wolves, Penance RPG, Zero Genesis 2003, I'm going to say that's how you say it. Mouse Miniature Painting, Space Coast Threads, Craft, and George's Emporium, or Gorgeous Emporium. I don't know.
Gorgeous Emporium. Oh.
Possibly. But these are all people who actually run businesses. They're all independent, small businesses. I'll get links to them somewhere. I mean, maybe we'll link them in YouTube, or I'll just do it on Instagram or something. So go check these people out. So the prize itself was one of my new mystery boxes of minis from my brand Tabletop Crafter, and in that you get 3 medium minis and 1 large mini, and we put together all of our subscribers on YouTube, and we picked a winner, and the winner is Christy Calderwood. So if you see this, if you're watching right now, or if it's uncatchable or whatever, let me know, or we'll try to get the prize to you. Yeah.
We will find you.
We will find you.
It's more creepy.
We will give you free stuff.
We will track you down.
What are you giving away? Because I don't think I actually know.
She just said.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? I was not paying attention.
That's alright.
I still don't know.
3D printed minis.
Oh, okay.
I have a commercial license with an artist, and I get new models every month, and yeah, it's just a range from this month's models.
Awesome. That's cool. All right, cool. Well, that is our winner and our shout-outs. So, Kyle, you know what to do.
Okay. It is time to roll the new and improved credits. It's taken a little while, but, it all worked out the way it was supposed to. You know what I mean? So, let's go ahead and roll them credits. Yeah! All right. Super chill. The new and improved credits with Carrie involved in there, bringing Ellie into the story. Super cool. The name of the episode is Minutes to Midnight. Uh, some of you might recognize it as a pretty direct reference to the Doomsday Clock. So, and if you understand what that is, then you know that it's not a happy thing. And who, who knows with this episode? Like, yeah, it's not a lot of happy stuff is gonna happen. I don't think. But
No.
anyways,
I always think of the Iron Maiden song personally.
of course you do. You're like playing it for your baby as she's going to sleep and everything,
Oh
and
my
it's
god,
like
yeah.
"Dut-dut-dut-dut-dut-dut-dut."
The escalation, it's Dragon Force now. Dragon Force or nothing. I don't know what's next.
This is the most hardcore baby in the history of babies, dude. Hardcore metalhead at like
Yeah.
however many months old.
It's when it gets to death metal. That's where I'm gonna start. Like looking at it funny. It's
You
like,
need to have an
really?
intervention. Like this kid's gonna have no idea what's going on, but you're like, Mara Jade, we gotta talk about this metal. So, anyways, I was just killing time to see if Asa was going to come back. But let's go ahead and start with some of the other characters and do what we like to call group therapy. It's a chance to really check in with everyone and see how the characters are feeling at the present moment. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and start with Drew, which will be kind of interesting because Halifax is, I don't know, a little indisposed right now, but maybe you can talk about how Halifax felt about the immediate events or while they were happening.
Right. So, Halifax went into this wanting to find alternatives, but realized that with time pressing on, that those just weren't options. So when the mission to go and destroy this tower, for the immediacy of it, it's both Emily and either Halifax himself or Eridu. Someone else was also like being targeted. I think it was Eridu.
No, it was specifically you and Emily were on the
there we
wanted
go.
posters.
Yeah. So we needed to, before we could do anything else, we needed to get rid of this spy operation. And Halifax came to terms with that, realized that, yep, this is probably going to be the thing that we have to do. And when they got there, started seeing people moving back and forth. Again, more doubts. But resolute in the fact that this was something that needed to be done. But Halifax definitely panicked when Thiala let off the fireball. Yes, it was bringing down a part of the building, but there was no way to confirm if the right things were being destroyed, and also Halifax was in the way of that rubble, just absolutely terrified of what was going to happen next, how to keep helping people, and I imagine that Halifax also had a bunch of memories flash before his eyes, and he still deeply, deeply regrets stealing that cherry pie from the windowsill and not telling anyone and saying that it was the dog.
A little pie in the windowsill kind of situation. That's so funny because that's an inside joke from another game that I was playing in. Everyone always says like, "Oh, it was a little bit of a pie in the windowsill kind of situation."
Dude, deep cut.
It is. It absolutely is. Wow.
Well, thank you all for waiting.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yep, we totally waited for you. We didn't keep carrying on.
Yeah.
No, of course. I expected everything to go absolutely still
Yeah.
the entire time that
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gone.
Silence. So, did you
Yeah.
have anything else to add for Halifax?
No. Currently, he will be replaying in his mind, in his state of drifting in and out of consciousness, all the happiest memories and most terrifying memories. It's a clip show going on right now for Halifax.
Yeah. Oh, for real.
Yeah, especially opportunities with Thiala, and he's resolving, if he gets out of this,
Mm-hmm.
he is going to cast all doubts, all inhibitions aside and just go for a relationship with Theala.
Oh man.
Man, damn, damn. All right, let's go ahead and go to Eridu, because he was also in this whole situation with Halifax at the moment. How does Eridu feel about everything?
Yeah. Up until this point, Eridu is like, I'm a soldier. Point me in the direction. I'll do a thing. Um, but he just got Halifax and Theologist Dimension doored up into that room, and then he just sees the explosion from the fireball. Probably flames shoot out the window, and then hears this crumbling sound, and there's probably like a bit of dust or smoke coming out of the window, and it's just a oh shit factor. Like, what just
Yeah.
happened?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, um, Eridu's probably at a point now where it's just adrenaline is pumping, heart is racing. Um, my friends are in trouble. I need to do something now. I don't think there's time for emotion. It's just react on the situation.
For sure. All right, let's go ahead and check in with Ellie. Ellie's gonna have like kind of a different situation, and I don't know, maybe I need to prompt a little bit. Um, Essentially, Emily came to you and said, I know you've been working with the Tranquility for a while, and they have like glowing reviews of both your dedication, your flexibility, and just in general your magical prowess. And I need you, Ellie. I need you to help me. And then she details her whole plan, and then you guys head off to the square. So how does Ellie feel about getting wrapped up into this whole thing?
Um, I think I think her just sort of like inventor mind like kicked in. So when Emily kind of came to her saying, "These are the sorts of things I want to do," she's just kind of how we've seen Ellie before. She's been quite like nervous and like quite high energy. And then the things that happened to her like last time we saw her, I think she got quite quiet. She had a lot to process. And so being able to like throw herself into some sort of inventing and coming up with some ideas. I think she's quite quietly excited to try out these ideas and see if they work, but I guess nervous because, like, yeah, this could go south quickly. Like, she's very aware that there's every chance that she could get very badly hurt in this, but she's up for it.
Yeah, and Emily was honest with you as far as saying that there is an extreme likelihood of violence. And she'll try and put you at ease and show you a scroll that she has that was created for her by this crazy wizard named Finnegan that she like kind of tells you about, but doesn't give you a lot of details about the guy necessarily, but says that he's got us taken care of in this way. We just need to do what we gotta do, and when we're in danger, we'll use this. As one last little thing for Ellie, I'm curious if you changed the form of Egner, the who was an owl bear. Does he look different, or is he still an owl bear, or
We'll still look at Alba.
owl bear? Yeah, it's a good form. It's a good one. Okay, so I've got kind of a lot of stuff that I want to read this session, so let me begin. We begin this session looking through Eridu's eyes. He is standing in a small apartment, looking through a window. Rook's tower is right in front of him. Fiala and Halifax have just teleported inside the second level of the tower. Eridu sees from his vantage point frantic movement through the window of the tower. There are flashing lights, and he hears muffled shouts. The window of the tower opens, which was Eridu's signal to climb up and join in the fight. However, before Eridu can act, there is an enormous explosion. The shockwave hits his chest with a thud as he sees the flames bursting out of the other side of the tower. Huge stone blocks, along with other debris, fly out from the tower, crashing into the surrounding buildings. The top of the tower, now unsupported, implodes and falls downward, kicking up an enormous pillar of dust and ash. Where Rook's tower once stood, now there is only a graveyard of rubble. As the dust slowly settles, Eridu's sharp elven eyes can see a pale hand sticking up from out of the rubble, surrounded in a dusty robe. That's what you see, dude.
All right.
It's what you see.
I will run towards the hand. Start, put my staff down, start to shift the rubble away. Being that that Theala is a drow and has dark skin, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is not her.
That's a sensible thing to assume.
But yeah, when I get to the point of like being able to clear away enough rubble to see Halifax's face, and seeing him, eyes closed, head kind of lolling, realizing that he is unconscious and badly hurt, I will take my staff and just press it to his forehead, using up all of the charges on it. And I'm trying to think if I actually have a ability to resurrect somebody with this.
Pump him full of hit points. I mean,
yeah,
just do it. I mean, like,
right.
He's technically at 0 hit points. He's maybe made like 1 or 2 death saving throws.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use all of the charges, which is going to be 8 charges, so that's 2 castings at.
Oh, okay.
At
Yeah,
each.
so you're just gonna go like it's like one of the defibrillators. You're like clear.
Yeah, it's two 4th level cure wounds
Then
castings.
you go in again. Clear.
Except instead of like putting them to his chest, I'm like clear, conk.
Smack him right on the forehead.
Right.
All right, roll them dice, son.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of dice.
That's a lot of dice. And you get
All
to
the
add,
D6s.
and you get to add your wisdom modifier. I thought it was D8s. First of all, I thought it was D8s because you're
It
casting
says
cure
we gain
wounds.
1d6. Oh, that's the charges.
Yeah,
You're right.
they're D8s because it's cure wounds. And if it's 4th level, then that's going to be 4d8 plus your wisdom modifier. And do that twice.
Okay. Well, I've got 3 d8s. That'll work for now. I'll figure this out.
Oh yeah.
As long as I don't drop it again.
Mm-hmm.
2 8s and a 5 to start with.
Nice.
Plus my wisdom modifier?
If you're doing 2 castings, it'd be plus your wisdom modifier twice.
That would be 52 hit points.
52 hit points for Halifax. Let's have a round of applause.
How many was it? 52?
52,
Yeah.
man.
Dude.
Yeah. Is
No, I
that
gotta
that's pretty good for
spend the
your
charges.
situation?
Yeah.
Dope.
I mean, he's all spellcastery. That's probably all of his hit points right there.
All right, so Halifax gets pumped with the healing energy from the staff. Vitality flows through your body, and the first thing that you do that indicates that you are indeed alive is that you start coughing like crazy and coughing up clouds of dust and ash that you inhaled. And yeah, your voice is hoarse and shredded from all of that.
Eridu.
Halifax, what happened? Where's Theala?
She she cast fireball. Yes. She'll be here in the rubble.
I would like to make a perception check.
You may make a perception check.
Or you could just tell me with a passive perception of 17. Is there the immediate threat of guards coming to investigate the situation?
Um, there are no guards that you can see. I will say with that perception check, you will hear a couple of different things that are not what you were looking for. So you don't see any guards, but you do hear a low roar, like off in the distance. It sounds like kind of like the sound of like if you're like 5 blocks away from a huge football stadium and
Oh,
everyone in the football stadium is yelling. It's kind of like that similar kind of
well,
sound.
I already would have known because that was something that Eridu picked up
Oh
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
Rook's Tower, that
Uh,
that the riot was in session.
for sure, for sure. Yeah,
So,
yeah. So you hear that, and then the thing that you see that is a new thing is that you look up in the sky, and in the sky there are clouds that have formed in the shape of words, and
ah,
it's 2 words, one on the top of the other, and it says, "Akrim lives."
oh, interesting. One thing I do have to say, real quick, is I used my staff as 10 charges, so I've used 8 of them. Um,
That's fine.
that's just a side thing, and then Akram was okay. So
Akrim lives.
helping Halifax get up the rest of the way out of the rubble. I'll look around and I do not see any guards. The riot might give us some time. We should try to find her if we can.
Let's let's find some system, some way to. No, to hell with that. I'll go and just start hucking bits of
Mm-hmm.
rock and things all over the place. I'll even like dig in the same place twice. I'm not focused or coordinated at all.
Mm-hmm. Let's just go ahead and do a little like athletics kind of check situation. So how about one of you make the athletics check and the other assist the other to give you an advantage?
Um,
Actually, Halifax went for it first, so Halifax
yeah,
rolls it with advantage.
I'll be giving the advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a 21 and a 21. I rolled 19 both times.
Oh my god. All right. So Halifax in a with a flood of newly found adrenaline, and he just feels the strength just seeping back into his muscles, and he just goes Hulk mode for a second. And for being such a squishy little caster type person, he sets about the rubble and just is picking up larger blocks than Eridu really thought he could, and he's just throwing them aside, digging in the same place twice. He doesn't care. Eridu
Can
goes.
I start having like a bit of glow coming to my eyes? Like I don't want to
Oh.
like use up the radiant soul charge. But,
Word.
like, I'm close to.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you're definitely on the verge of going Super Saiyan, as they say. And he's got the golden glow. His hair is kind of like flying around, even though there's not much wind or whatever. He's just like he seems like a man possessed, you know. And Eridu helps out over here, takes a couple of things off, and then they both get this sense about this one certain boulder, and they converge on it and use both of their strength not to throw it, but just roll it, roll it down, and it tumbles down the rest of the rubble and goes off to the side. And under that boulder, you see the crumpled, broken body of Theala Aloro.
Halifax is going to recognize that there's definitely some degree of like damage but he's going to willfully ignore how bad it is and go to bundle her up. He's going to pick her up, cradle her head, carry her legs, and then just start running. I think he's going to pick the direction of towards the church, the temple. I suppose I, as a player, are hoping that Eridu will like stop me and remind me that no one's really there. There's a riot going on. So maybe there's somewhere else that we should go. But yeah, that'll be what Halifax will start doing.
As you guys start, as we start running, if I realize it's where you're going, I'm going to stop you and not remind you that there's a riot. Just tell you the temple cannot be safe right now. I'm sure that our hideout has been compromised. Let's make for the sewers.
Yes. Wait. Are we certain that the tower has been toppled completely?
At this point, it doesn't matter. I think it's lucky we got away with our lives. It won't take long for the guards to realize something terrible has happened, and perhaps for Garth to send out his own private troops to investigate. The riot is only going to keep people busy for so long. We need to get out of the town.
Agreed. Yes. Yes. Lead the way, Eridu. I shall follow.
All right. I'm going to start heading towards the sewer. Eridu's plan is to go to the sewers, find a way out of this town, and then get to Bronzewood Grove. That way, hopefully, the druids can help heal Fiala.
Oh, okay.
That is what he plans to do.
Okay.
Whether or not that is what happens is up to the
for
GM.
sure, for sure. All right, so you guys head out. You know, you take a left turn, right turn, left turn, right turn, just like going down alleys, trying to like take the sneakiest way possible out of there, holding Fiala's body. I will. I don't know, I'll allow kind of like both of you guys to make like medicine checks. Just like, not really medicine like an active kind of medicine check, but just more like in a knowledge kind of way. Like, you could actually use wisdom or intelligence instead of. No, wait, no, it is a wisdom. So, yeah, just make a medicine check for both of you guys.
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Which
I got a
bonuses.
dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Halifax, whether or not Halifax wants to accept this, your powers of observation and just the fact that you're holding her and all of this, it's like you get this like voice in the back of your head that you can't really quiet down. You can try and shut it out, but you can't quiet this voice. It just says she's dead.
I will, as we're still running, aren't we?
You're still running, yeah.
As we're running, I'll try and like prop her head up a couple of times just to like see her roll forward and open her eyes because she's been jolted. And when that doesn't work, I will stare straight ahead where we're running, not look at her, but say to her, Fiala, wherever you are right now, we did not have the time that was meant for us. I shall see you again. We shall make that time. And then just carry on running.
You're gonna make us cry, Drew. Shit, dude. Shit, dog. All right. So you guys take a couple of turns here and there, and then you pop out into, you know, you've seen this kind of thing several times before in the city. An open culvert that leads into the bowels in the sewers of the city. You're not sure if you've ever gone down this particular culvert before, but you know that something like this is easy access to the labyrinthine sewers beneath the city.
All right.
You're going, Eridu.
I'm gonna look around, a bit winded now, and yes, I believe I do. And uh, we're gonna start winding our way through the sewers, and Erida's gonna be making his way towards where they first met the druids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would like to roll a deception check,
Okay.
giving uh, just as a sake of Eridu's not trying to get them out of the sewers right now. He's going to a very specific destination,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't really want Halifax to register that.
My passive insight's 13. I wouldn't be actively trying to figure you out. So, in fact, because we're running as well, that will probably be with disadvantage because I'm not able to pay full attention. So, 8.
Okay.
Pretty easy to beat, my dude.
Yeah. I've got an 11 because I rolled 10, and I don't have a great deception roll, but
Well, that's all right.
it's
So,
enough.
yeah, I mean, yeah, certainly from a narrative standpoint, where Halifax is right now, his mind is in so many different places and directions that he's just, I don't know, seems like he's just following you, Eridu, and wherever you go, he's just following and he's carrying Fiala.
So we find our way to the rubbish heap where the druids were summoning ticks. And when we get close, Eridu is going to say, Halifax, I need to rest for a little bit.
Yes, of course. This seems to be a decent enough catacomb. It's away from the sewage water.
I'm gonna walk up to him, walk up to Theala, him carrying Theala, and put a hand on her forehead and look at him and say, how is she?
She will be able to get some good rest when we arrive at our destination.
I'm gonna touch my staff to her forehead and extend the last 2 charges, attempting to cure her or heal her. What happens?
The light from the staff flashes out, and there's this kind of visual effect whenever you do use the staff. It's like there's almost like it's kind of like when you put some electrical things close together and there's this like arcing of electricity or whatever. It's kind of like that, but it's like this white, bright, kind of radiant energy. And usually when you use it, the light kind of arcs off of the end of the staff and like seeps into their skin, and for a little ways, like you can see the energy just kind of like radiating into their skin, and that's, yeah, so that's something that you're used to seeing, and it does it again, and it goes into her skin. The light disappears into the darkness of her skin,
Okay.
but there is no response.
I'm gonna catch Halifax's eyes and then turn around, drop the staff, take 2 steps, and then disappear. For the brief moments that I'm in the Feywild, Eridu is just gonna let out the deepest scream that he can give, venting all of his hurt and rage in that moment. And then when that yell is over, before the gap of time is up, he's going to end by saying, "Tix, come and find me." And then I will blink back into reality, a few steps away from where I was.
All right. All right. We might take a little tiny pause right there because I want to like flip over to Ellie, but
Yeah.
but I'll tell you guys that I want you to stay in that moment. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that moment right when Eridu comes back from the Feywild. But
All right.
we're gonna flip over to Ellie, and we're gonna kind of like wind back just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna kind of talk through the setup. Like, what was Ellie's perspective with this whole situation in the square that's happening? I've got another thing to read. So Ellie, you come to the square along with Emily, Malcolm, Jane Cobb, and Melody Simon. The last three are crew members of the Tranquility that you've been hanging out with. Things were calm at first. When you all arrived, there was a public market happening, and the common people of Twin Harbor were milling about, buying vegetables and talking and laughing. Emily gives Ellie a nod, giving the signal for her to execute her part of the plan. As Ellie starts attaching small devices to the sides of the columns lining the square, Emily climbs to the top of a structure in the middle of the square. It is a large stone basin filled with soil in which a young tree is planted. She stands firmly with her feet in the soil and shouts in an authoritative voice, "Good people of Twin Harbor, my name is Emily. I stand before you in the place where my husband, Emily Bawail, died at the hands of the despotic leaders of this city. This tree was planted as a memorial to him, and I am ready to die here to do what he wanted, to take back this city from those who only do harm, and save the future generations from the yoke of tyranny. Good people, too long have you been treated as pawns in this greedy game played by the wealthy. With my leadership, you will be pawns no more. You will be masters of your own destiny. And for those of you who still believe in that lying snake Vitrell, you may hear his true words for yourself." Melody, Malcolm, and Jane Cobb all take position around the basin, and Emily nods again to Ellie, a gesture that says, "Do it. Push the button." Does Ellie push the button?
Yeah, I pushed the button.
Awesome. From the columns all around the square, the unmistakable voice of Orran Vitrell booms forth. "You know, Garth, I must commend you again for the sheer effectiveness of this sapphire dream. It has worked so well that I can scarcely believe it. Back then you could scarcely believe it too. But aren't you glad you trusted me? Now the people are trapped like rats in cages. Now you can do whatever you want. Right you are, my friend. All we need to do is choose our scapegoat. I have just the people in mind. You know, Garth, I must commend you again for the sheer effectiveness of the sapphire dream. It has worked so well that I can scarcely believe it." And it goes, and it goes, and it repeats, and it repeats. The words are loud, echoing, just booming. As the words echo throughout the square, the faces of the people change from confusion to shock, and then to anger. Murmurs turn into a low roar of dissent. And inexplicably, in the sky above, wispy white clouds appear and start to write letters into the sky that spell, "Akrim lives." Then from the west, contingents of harbor guard start to stream into the square. Emily turns to face them and screams, "For Akrim!" And yeah, it pretty much starts to devolve from there. There's, the crowd of people. The whole market idea has just been abandoned, and people are grabbing rocks and they're grabbing like pieces of fruit and vegetables and whatnot. They're just grabbing anything they can. And as the harbor guard approaches, they form this big circle. There's like at least like 60 or more people like milling around the square, and they form this huge protective circle around Emily. And as the guards approach, they just start throwing shit at them, just start throwing rocks and throwing vegetables, and they're screaming. And then the harbor guard, they like put up their little bucklers and everything, and they're just like, ugh. And yeah, they start to advance, and they draw their maces. Is there anything that you want to have Ellie do as far as like trying to get into position before the guards get too close, or?
I think I will move, so I'm sort of in front of Emily, and move Agner, now also called Ein, is slightly in front of her as well, with the intention to try and protect her. Are there any like fires going on?
Fires?
Like any sort of flame, I guess. I think it's any sort of flame.
There are a couple. There are some food carts going on, with just like street food, and there are like some like spits of meat that are being rotated on, like, this cart has like a little thing in it that has a fire, and there's like a spit of meat that's just going on above there. So there's like, I don't know, like 2 carts that are like food carts like that have fires in them.
Okay. Can I cast Create Bonfire next to me?
Next to you?
Yeah, a little bit away, but kind
A
of.
little bit away. Yes.
Where it's not on wood. I don't know if we're on wood. I'll do it on where they're for the nearest stone.
Oh, okay. It's a little crowded, but I'll let you like try and tell people around you, like, step back, everyone, step back.
Okay. I mean, it's not big, is it? It's like
It's a 5 foot by 5 foot cube. It's like it's a pretty decent like chunk of fire stuff happening.
Okay.
So yeah,
Do you need me to roll for that? Or?
No, I don't need you to roll for it. I mean, like, I just need you to like just do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that you can like get people to move out because they're not being pushed by the guards quite yet.
Okay.
So you make a bonfire.
Mhm. And get ready.
Oh, okay. So you're just gonna like keep it chill in there.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
got a plan for it, that's all.
Okay, all right. So the fire's in place, and Ein is like in front of you. Is he like kind of mixed in with the crowd of the common folks, or is he like right next to you?
I think he's like right next to me and directly in front of Emily, so that she's shielded from anything that might be thrown.
Good call. Good call. All right. So you set up the bonfire, and there's at least like 30 guards coming in. And I should mention, or just like mention again, that there's been a steady process of the guards in Twin Harbor getting more and more like militarized. So these guys, like, they're not just wearing like leather armor, they're wearing like scale armor, you know? They have like really fine equipment. Yeah. And they're doing this phalanx thing. They're just setting up a phalanx and just coming closer and closer and closer to y'all. So, with that being said, and Ellie's got her bonfire ready, we're going to flip back to the scene where Halifax and Eridu are together with and Halifax is holding Fiala's dead body. And Eridu has just come back from the Feywild using his whole Fey Step kind of ability that he has.
All right. I'll turn back and pick up my staff and say, "We should go."
Go. You are leading me through these sewers.
Yes. They're I'm ready to go. I'm ready to keep on moving.
Oh, I thought you were going to have me navigate these things on my own. I apologize, Eridu. I'm a little skittish right now. Yeah, I'll pick up Thiala, take one quick look around, and then follow Eridu.
All right. So at this point, I'll be looking to try to make for an exit near the edge of the city. Um, it can happen to be an exit that ends up being closer to the town square, if that's what happens.
I'll let you make a survival check to try and figure it out.
Okay. I am not trained in survival, and I rolled a 9. Let's see what I got here. I mean, it's not terrible. It's a 12.
It's a 12. Not so terrible. But as a matter of fact, as you head your way over there, you can't really find another culvert that spills out, but you do see a you see little shafts of light coming down from above, and you look above and you see a manhole, one of the, with a ladder, really gross, grimy ladder, but you have this sense that this would be a good spot to pop up at, and you go up the ladder and move the manhole and pop your head up, and you find yourself on the very southeasternmost corner of the square. The first thing you see when you move the manhole is you see the words above you: Akrim lives.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the roar of the crowd, and it sounds like shit is not going well.
All right. Um, so what's going on with the crowd? Is it just full on riot mode? Do I see Emily? Do I see the Tranquility crew?
Yeah, if you get yourself fully out of the manhole and stand up and get a better perspective, then you see this whole just scene unfolding. The harbor guard coming from the west has advanced enough on the crowd that's surrounding the tree that they're actively engaging in the crowd.
Okay.
And you, as well as Ellie, who's even closer to this whole thing, you are seeing the guards swing their maces with like absolute abandon, and they're like one poor innocent little commoner or whatever, like looks like they nearly have their head knocked off. They're like their neck just obviously just snaps in this direction that it's not supposed to, and they fall.
Was this a section of the sewer that sort of angled up to like a grating where we could see onto this street, or was this Eridu finding like a ladder up to a...
Yeah, it's a ladder up to a manhole.
What occurs up above, Eridu?
Riots in full swing. And at this point, I'm going to say that I see that person take the blow to the head, and without really finishing my sentence, I'm going to leap up the rest of the steps and just charge at that guard.
I'm going to stare up at where Eridu was, freeze for a few seconds, and then look down at Thiala again. I'm going to set her down gently, propping her up against the wall, and with one hand going gingerly towards her face and then just resting on her shoulder. The work's not done. And I'll leave her there, climb up.
All right.
Hell yeah. All right, so Halifax gets up, and as soon as Halifax stands up, I'm going to say that he's going to take a second to just really orient himself and like get an idea of what's going on. So I'd like you to make like let's say a perception check and a arcana check as well.
I am thoroughly distracted. So my perception was an 11.
Mm-hmm.
My arcana Remember, I get a +9 to Arcana.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 13.
So, okay, so the perception check, I'm just going to say that you saw what Eridu essentially sees.
Okay.
You see Emily on top, right next to the tree. You see some of the members of the Tranquility crew around that. You see this huge throng of people that are surrounding them. You see this crazy-looking mechanical owl bear for whatever reason. And then you see the contingent of about 30 harbor guard that are just wading into the common folk and just fucking wrecking them. And yeah, and oh, and then with the Arcana check, you kind of look toward where there's some of the columns that are lining most of the edges of the square, and you see some men in robes, some humans in robes, and their robes are embroidered with like the very emblematic symbol of Twin Harbor. And you, as a spellcaster, you know one when you see one, and you see two people that look like spellcasters, and they're kind of trying to hide a little bit, like uh, behind the column, and just to make sure they're like not seen.
Sorry, are they on street level but hiding behind columns?
Yeah, essentially, like this whole thing's like
Ah.
a street level thing, and there's columns
Ah.
like all around. So they're
Sorry,
kind of
I
like,
misunderstood. I thought they were on top of the columns.
oh no,
Uh, right.
hiding
Well,
behind.
in that case, I suppose should we jump into initiative or?
Yeah, so yeah, before we like really kick into this whole crazy situation, I'll just make a couple of disclaimers as far as like I'm not going to do initiative in the traditional way. I'm going to have it be like side initiative, where it's like you guys go and then they go and then you guys go. Like good guys go, bad guys go, or whatever. Like we'll roll initiative to see like who goes first between the two groups of you. And then the other thing I was going to say is that I have I haven't really followed standard rules for like mass combat, but I'm kind of making up my own rules for mass combat. So
Okay.
for your guys' mechanical knowledge, the combatants in this combat is like obviously Emily, Malcolm, Jacob, Melody, Ellie, all of you guys. There's like you guys. And then I'm thinking of the crowd of people as a combatant that has hit points, like collective hit points. And
Like
then
swarm.
yeah, kind of like a swarm thing. And then there's the guards that have their own like collective hit points. And then there's the mages that Halifax just checked out. And then, just for funsies, Eridu, make me a perception check on your way over to where you're going.
That would be a 2. So let's
my
see.
gosh.
9.
All right, Ellie, make a perception check. Someone, please, roll a high enough perception check so you don't feel bad when I hit you with something else.
Worse 8.
All right, it's okay. No, the dice don't lie, is what I'm gonna say. There's
I just
a
rolled a 3.
there's a saying.
We are
in,
not meant to
no.
see whatever this is.
No, exactly. There's a saying in basketball where they say "ball don't lie." You know what I mean? It's kind of like that.
Yep.
Dice don't lie, dude. Dice don't lie. So, anyways, we are gonna have you guys roll initiative. Just go ahead and have the person with the highest initiative roll one initiative thing.
Mine is a +3.
Mine is also a +3.
Minus 2.
Alright. Well, I've seen my rolls recently, so go ahead and roll it, Drew.
Ooh, natural 20, 23.
Oh, I made the
Well, there
right
you
call.
go. I rolled decently, but I sure as hell can't beat that. So, good guys take it. It's good guys first, and then bad guys.
Yeah.
Well, I will, in fact, I will activate my Radiant Soul as an action. I am going to get glowing eyes, 2 incorporeal wings. It lasts for a minute. I get a flying speed, and each turn I can make 1 attack or spell deal an additional 10 radiant damage to a target.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That is cool, dude.
So yeah, I'll activate these wings, and then like the casters are there, they're around. I'm going to fly by and shout to Emily's group, because I'll probably see her, that there are casters near the pillars, and I'm gonna dive bomb straight towards the guards that are taking on the crowd of civilians. Because yeah, I want to get in the way of a mace.
There you go. All right, so you got an action, you got a move kind of situation going on.
Yeah.
Any other things that you're trying to do?
No, that'll be it. And of course, letting people be aware that there are casters near the
Yeah.
pillars,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't know
Definitely.
what
Definitely. Okay. Well, that is sick, and you guys can just kind of choose the order in which you want to go.
Well, I'm gonna do my thing because it's probably not gonna affect anybody else. With all of the movement speeds, because I can move forever,
Yeah.
and as I'm charging at this guard, the water tattoos on my I need to look at my portrait again because I don't remember which arm it is. But on whichever arm it is, start to kind of swirl and wash around my arm and start to come out to my fingertips, where they become real water. And I'm gonna start to kind of spin that around like a whip, and when I get within 30 feet of that guard, I'm just gonna lash it out at him. He needs to make a DC 15 dexterity save.
Oh, he failed hard.
Right.
Failed hard.
That thing is gonna like just wrap around his chest and pull tight, dealing 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, man.
And then I'm just gonna yank him toward me. He's just gonna slide that 25 feet up to me. It just because of cool factor, and I'm already dealing the damage. I want to just pull him up to me and then just like jump and knee him in the face. I'm just gonna make that part of my attack damage.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Well,
and then I'm landing on my toes, and just in a fighting stance, ready to punch.
Okay, so that whole cool maneuver and everything, you charge forward, you do the water whip, you pull him, you hear the scream and the crack of ribs as the water just somehow just fucking squeezes his chest, and then you knee him in the face, and I mean, you've taken out enough fools in your life to know when you've just taken one out with a single like 1-2 combo, you know.
That guy's done. He's unconscious now.
That guy's done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If I accidentally killed him, I probably wouldn't have paid attention.
Well, no, I mean, you definitely did. Yeah, with the way I've got the hit points going, it's like kind of like it's supposed to be like an action movie in a way where the protagonists are just mowing through like crowds of enemies or whatever. It's gonna have that feel a little bit with the way I'm doing it. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
so Eridu, he gets right in the thick of it. Are you close to where Halifax is? Pretty much? Yeah, you're right in the thick of it with Halifax, definitely. And Ellie would like to do something?
How far away from me and my bonfire is as a mage is? Oh, at least one.
Okay, so I should have tried to draw something like this up before, but this is like the general scheme. It's like you got the pillars around, you got the different directions, you got this is the thing in the very middle that Emily is in, so you've got this whole like ring around there of the common folk. And then I said from the west, this is where the guards are coming in. So there's this huge confrontation. This is where Halifax and Eridu are. And the mages are kind of like in the south over here. Because you guys... No, I said southeast. Here we go. You guys started in the southeast corner. This is supposed to be the manhole that you popped out of. And then you kind of went charging over here and whatever. So I don't know. I think it makes some kind of sense. Like this is about 30 feet, I think, from
Okay.
here to here. If it's like 60 feet overall, I don't know.
Okay. Is there a fire near them, near the mages? Any sort of
Any sort of fire over here? No, there is not.
okay. Um. Right. Then I will. So this will probably drop the bonfire, but I think that's fine. I'll do that later. So I'm gonna cast. So if I cast a concentration spell, I can cast other spells that aren't concentration. Can't
Yeah, you just can't do
Right.
two concentration ones at the same time.
I? Cool. So I'm gonna cast enlarge on Hein.
On Ein.
Yeah,
Nice.
he becomes a large creature. And I think I have to use my bonus action to like instruct him. So I am gonna tell it to attack the guards, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so you use your action to cast Enlarge, doing some kind of cool little hand gesture or something. And there's a metallic roar that comes out of Ein at that exact moment, and as his frame and metallic body grows to double its size, the sound of the metallic roar deepens. It starts off like becomes deeper and deeper and more intense as he grows. And you definitely catch a look at some of the guards in front of you, and they look a bit terrified that this thing is coming at them. So, all right, and then he just charges in there.
Yeah. Can it get there? I think we're saying it's got like 30 feet.
Oh wait, you're having him go toward the. Wait, did you have him go toward
the
the
guy.
mages over there? Oh, he's a lot.
Yeah.
They're a lot closer. This is like the huge phalanx that's like engaging there. So yeah, I wrote little E. Ein is just charging in there. So he does like an attack roll.
Yeah.
He does like something like that.
18.
Oh, that'll hit.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll hit.
Is a 12 damage. Let me just double check. Oh, I can't find it. Okay. What's this now? Alright, okay. I am gonna send through that bite, my arcane jolt.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes an extra 2d4.
Nice.
That's 3.
Was it 2d4 or 2d4 plus something?
It just says 2d4 on it.
They should have had him be d6s, dude. No one likes rolling d4s.
Yeah.
No.
Even with magic missile, you're still like, nah. I don't.
At least magic missile never
Nah.
misses, and you get the +1 to it.
That's true.
Like-
At least there's that. It's that what makes it kind of usable. All right, so let's see. Where am I at here? Boom, boom, boom. So Ein comes down with this huge. Oh wait, hold on. He's enlarged. Did you also add another D4 for that?
Oh, no, I
Because with the text with the enlarge is like if they make weapon attacks, they get an extra D4 on top of it.
That's 2, an extra 2.
Okay, awesome. That's actually works out perfect. So with that extra little damage, Ein just goes "Roar," and he like comes in and he bites. He just like his open jaw, like the owl bear jaw, just comes down and just completely like cuts a dude in half. You know what I mean? Like he's got huge jaws and super sharp. He just literally just cuts this dude in half, and then as he's like bringing his head back up, he like swipes out this claw and just catches another guard and just completely rips that dude apart. So Ein just like comes in and just wrecks 2 guards. Bam, bam. Yeah, dude. Intense. So, and then let's see. Emily is kind of holding the line and kind of like yelling and trying to keep that going on. Well, was there any other actions you want to do with Ellie?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Malcolm goes in and joins the fray, but his sword is blocked. And let's see. Jane Cobbs comes in. Jane Cobb is gonna do a little bit of damage. Oh yeah. Jane Cobb just straight up like punches a dude like so hard that he just like looks like he just passes out unconscious entirely. And then Melody is gonna get up on top of where Emily is, on top of the thing that's holding the tree, and then she like goes back like as far as she can on the other side, and then runs forward and leaps off and does like a triple backflip pirouette, like crazy maneuver, like a monk would or something. And then as she lands, her feet and fists are just like flying out, and she's gonna do some like crazy multi-attack shit. Oh, she is wrecking these fools. Oh yeah, she just takes out another one entirely. Psh. So that's it for those people, and as far as like the people of Twin Harbor go, they are they're like, you know, non-combatants. They're more of like a meat shield than anything else. But that's not me saying that. That's Garth or some like sadistic motherfucker that would like actually say that.
So we just need to make sure we pull aggro off of the crowd. Got
yeah,
it.
yeah, for real.
That's how this
So
boss fight is won.
yeah. So now we're gonna have the bad guys go. It's time for the bad guys. So let's see. Let's go ahead and start with. We're going to start with just like the regular guards, and they target a couple of different people. Well, first of all, they're just going to target the crowd in general. And they roll pretty well. Where was that I was going to do? There's that dice. Okay, so the guards just indiscriminately kill 3 more people right in front of you. And then they attack. A whole contingent of them are trying to attack Halifax, and that is going to be it's going to be 18 to your AC.
My armor class is 13.
You take 11 damage. So the flavor of this is that it's like not one guard attacking you, but it's several guards. It's like the combined damage of like however many dudes that manage to graze you, you know, in this like one moment. So, you know, some of them have like hand crossbows, you know, if you're flying above, they're like taking little pot shots at you with hand crossbows and shit. And if you fly close enough, maybe a sword, or not a sword, like a mace just kind of like flies up and tries to hit you as you're flying by. And then one attack, since Eridu's in the middle of that shit, Eridu is going to try and get hit. So that is 23 to your AC, probably hits.
No, it totally misses.
No, dude, it hits for 12 bludgeoning damage as you just get rocked by a handful of maces rocking you. And there is unfortunately a surprise coming because everyone was really bad at doing their perception rolls earlier. From the north.
Way to punish us for dice rolls, man.
Hold on, let me write this right now. From the north, what I'm calling the riot police are streaming in. So you've got this contingent of guards that are just regular harbor guards. You've got the two mages down here, and then coming in from this direction, you have, yeah, what I'm calling the riot police. They are, you know, they're a new force in Twin Harbor that maybe some of you have seen, but maybe others of you have never ever seen before. They're wearing full, like, half, not full, like more like half plate. They're wearing just plate mail all over. They've got tower shields. They've got really intense looking maces, just like the other ones. And yeah, they're just way more heavily armed, way more heavily armored, and they are yeah, there's a group of about 20 of them, and they're forming their own phalanx with their tower shields up, and they've just been charging forward. So they're going to engage the crowd and try and do some serious damage to the crowd. Alright, so that's a hit for... oh gosh, I'm rolling like shit for them, though. For damage. I'm rolling like shit for damage.
Good.
No...
I have no healing left.
Oh my gosh.
I also finally remembered to set up the D&D Beyond overlay so we can actually see our health.
Atta
all that.
babe. Good stuff, good stuff. So at least another 6 people in the crowd die after being rushed by the riot police coming in from the north.
Okay.
You guys are just taking casualties all over the place, dude. Casualties.
Man. I feel like Eridu is on the path to playing some like 3D chess style. Just, I got all the stuff in my mind for like what he's trying to achieve,
For sure. For sure.
and I'm just curious to see how this all goes.
Me too. So there's one more thing that happens because the mages haven't done anything yet. Hold on a second. One of them is going to cast web, and yeah, one of them's going to cast web, and the web is going to try and go like kind of like right in the thick of this. They're kind of centering it to try and get Egner, or trying to get Ein, Eridu, like all the combatants in here, like with the crowd. They're kind of like trying to center it like right there, you know. So that is going to require. Oh, it's like, okay, so the web just like happens, and when you start your turn, I'll make you guys make dexterity saving throws.
Right.
So that's kind of how that goes. And yeah, I'm going to affect Eridu, Hilofax, and Ein. Those 3 in that whole thing.
I forgot to tell you that I gave myself a really cool thing. It's web doesn't work. It's really cool. I've written it on the notes section of my character sheet.
Yeah, it just says that web doesn't work.
Dude, it's a great feature, you know? It's
The
a really good
custom
one.
match items that we worked on.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a good one.
it's for, you know, anybody can use it. We'll have it available for people on our website.
Yeah, for sure. And there's one final thing. There's final thing that happens after the web, and it's one of the other mages has a sharp eye looking at Ellie, and you know, if you're looking at him, he might be giving you a little finger gun action or whatever, and he goes pew 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 pew, and he shoots some magic missiles at you.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Rolling like shit. So that's 13 force damage, and I want you to make a we'll call it a dexterity saving throw is fine.
16.
It was 13 force damage.
Yeah.
Oh wait, oh, for the dexterity saving throw. Oh, okay. 16. So as you get pummeled with these missiles, pew, puff, puff, it's like you're doing that kind of like kind of thing, and your hand holding the device that is making the audio keep going and keep going and keep going over all this, that your hand holding the device, it looks like it's gonna go back, and you're just about to let go of it from the force of the impact, but you hold on strong and catch it and regroup. But yeah, you almost let go of that shit. And let's go ahead and have. I don't know. I'm tempted to just have our break early because like we just finished like one round of this crazy stuff, and we're getting pretty close to like 1:30 anyways. I think it might be pretty clean to do it that way.
Yeah, because I suppose if it took us about 15 minutes or so to get through, we'll be late for the break otherwise.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So just before we break, I just want to like very much clarify everything and make sure you guys know like the state of the battle and everything. So it's like the whole thing. I'm just kind of calling this like 60 feet by 60 feet square. This is the manhole that you guys came out of. Everyone's pretty much clustered in here. You got the crowd around you. You got Big Egner right here. You got the web that is like potentially gonna get you guys held up. You got the regular harbor guard here. I'll make a little note in there. And then you have the riot police that have just advanced forward to kill about 6 people over on this side. And you have the 2 mages over here. You guys have your work cut out for you. I'll say that. I'll say that.
Just you wait. Just you wait.
I will wait. I will wait for approximately 10 to 15 minutes while we take our break. And then we will be back, folks. Let's see what the hell happens, and let's see if they can really do it big for Akram.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for
feel
joining
free
us.
to chat during the break.
Oh yeah, we love our chat room. We do.
Yep.
We do.
And we'll see you all shortly.
See you all shortly. We'll be right back. Thanks.